Thinking about Nonviolent Personal Self-Defense, Part 1. The topic of Session 5, Nonviolent Personal Self-Defense, is probably the hardest in the course for both teachers and students. Why is this true? All of us have grown up in a violent, competitive, adversarial, aggressive society. What deluges us, practically, from the day we were born, in history books, in newspapers, on television, in sports, from our peers, from our political leaders, from everywhere, is that only two responses to conflict and violence exist. A person can fight or run away. But if we run away, we are called a wimp, which is bad. Therefore, we had better learn how to fight. We have to look after ourselves. No one else will. Even our parents will tell us this. With this background, we only believe in the practicality of standing up for ourselves. Because we have not been taught it and have not read about it or experienced it, we simply do not believe nonviolence will work in the real world, where one must be practical. Somehow this continuing emphasis on violence gives people the impression that being a good fighter will always win one's goals and will always work. Conversely, we believe that not fighting will never work. This is unfortunate because both perceptions are wrong. I remember a woman in one of our classes who was particularly unyielding in her concept that nonviolence would never work, that she would always fight back if attacked. She did not weigh more than 100 pounds. She only reconsidered when I asked what she would do if there were not one but two assailants. What if each weighed 200 pounds? What if they both were armed and she was not? Would she still fight? Only then did she think about it more deeply. Finally, she agreed that at times it might be good to have some choices other than fighting. But not knowing these nonviolent alternatives, or not having training in the techniques for using them, we are lost. This session is mainly to give us more tools in our self-defense package. People who use violence can and do lose. People who use nonviolence can and do win. Some have used nonviolent alternative successfully for centuries all over the globe. We have just never known of all this history. Often we do not even recognize its presence and use in our daily lives. When we do read about, hear about, or see something happening, we know it is not true. Yet when we are exposed to a fact 5 times, we believe it, though it may be false. Fighters, whether in a war, a boxing ring, a sport, or whatever, are well trained and disciplined. Without ever having seen a tennis game or taken tennis lessons, who would ever be successful on the court? Yet we tend to condemn nonviolence as not practical, surrendering, giving in, not doing anything, mainly because we do not know about it, understand it, witness it, nor have we been taught the principles and skills to use it effectively. Throughout this course, we are seeking to start making up for all these generations of ignoring and neglecting the power of nonviolence. This particular session may get to the root of what nonviolence is all about. Ignorance of the principles that are delineated throughout this course can and do threaten our very survival. But how might we get started on this particular session? First, let's think about some experiences we have had in our life of being either attacked physically or threatened with such attack. We may have to go back to our childhood playground or delve into a more hurtful personal event.